extension of that. Okay, let's begin with the syllabus.
Good morning.
Good morning or good afternoon. Anyway, good morning or good afternoon, whatever. And do you see this? This is our course name, Digital Circuits and Systems. Digital Circuits and Systems. It is a MOOCs course actually. And as usual, we have 5 units. Unit 1, Unit 2, 3, 4 and 5. These are the topics that we will learn under the Unit 1. Unit 1, basically emphasis. Unit 1 is about number systems and also gates. Number systems. See, digital circuits and systems talks about digital circuits and digital systems. See, what is the good example of digital system? What is the good example of digital system?
Technology, sir.
Digital system technology, of course, there is so much advancement in the technology. That is because of the digital only, digital and many other things. And very good example of digital system is our computer. Many of us use computers. Okay, our digital system, computer is a good example of digital system. But in electrical engineering, you don't use computer, you don't design computers, or you don't write big programs with the computer. But still we learn this digital circuits course. The reason is these digital circuits are not only used in computers and also in control. For example, have you studied control system engineering?
Yes, sir.
Control system engineering in your second year. You will also study digital control systems. It is advancement of control systems, but much of the processing is happening in the digital domain. Today, we don't use analog domain to process the signals or to control something. We use digital or controllers, microcontrollers or controllers like that. For that reason, one needs to have good knowledge in digital circuits. Unless we cannot design any digital control system and we cannot do any control system task. That is the main reason why we study these digital systems, although we are not computer engineers. Is it clear? Of course, if you want, you can take your career in computer science also. It doesn't matter. Okay, let's see what is there in the syllabus. Unit 1 primarily contains number systems. In digital circuits or digital systems, they don't use the number systems that we use. Humans use decimal number system. Number systems means we use decimal number systems to add numbers, subtract numbers, or count numbers, or multiply them, integrate them, and so on, so on. Okay, we use decimal systems. Okay, that is that is the system that is used by us. Whereas if you make a computer and computer cannot understand decimal numbers, all it knows is zeros and ones. Okay, all it knows is zeros and ones. And if you make any circuit like adder circuit or subtractor circuit, it calculates additions and subtractions. It carries out subtractions.
నేను చెప్పేదన్నా నాది ఇది మైనస్ ఉంది ఇది కాదు నాది మైనస్ ఉంది ఇది ఏడా ఇది ఆడదు
Excuse me. And say, so if you make any digital circuit and if you try to add two numbers in the digital system, that addition or subtraction won't be done in decimal domain, in the decimal systems, by using decimal systems. Computers, they don't know anything other than zeros and ones. So we have to understand how binary system works, how to carry out binary addition, binary subtraction, and so on, so on. And not only these two systems, binary systems in digital circuits, decimal system in decimal systems bias. Not only these two systems, there are other systems also. We also understand other systems like octal system, hexadecimal system, and so on. So that is what we study in the unit 1. Not only that, the gates, basic gates. Gates include AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate, and these two special gates, XOR gate and not XOR gate, NAND gate and NOR gate. NAND gate and NOR gate, they are special compared to other gates. The reason is this: we can express any gate or any functionality in terms of NAND and NOR gate. If you know how to make NAND gate and NOR gate, you don't need the third gate. You can build the whole digital system with just NAND gate and NOR gates. Okay, that is one thing. And one more important thing is combination circuits. What is combination circuit? A combination circuit is a circuit which is combination of AND gate, OR gates, all these gates, not just AND gate, not just OR gate. It is a combination of many gates, AND gate, OR gate, and so many. Okay, and maybe 5 AND gates or 7 NOT gates, and so on, so on. Okay, if you ask me, is it not enough to use? Is it just AND gate is not enough to build a complete circuit? No. Okay, AND gate alone, the use of AND gate is limited. With AND gate alone, we can do little thing. Okay, if you want to build sophisticated digital circuit or system, we need all these gates and many in number. Okay, that is what is combination circuits. And also we study error correcting codes, error correcting and error detecting codes. Error correcting means in communication means we transmit data from one place to another place. Let's say I am sending some data from here to my friend who is staying in Madanapalli. Okay, and I'm sending the data because of noise. the data may not receive properly in the receiver end. Okay, so I'm sending 1 here, that may be received as 0. Okay, I'm sending 1 and it should receive as 1, but instead it is received as 0, means there is error. Now the question is how to detect the error and how to correct it. So that part also we do in the unit 1. So unit 1 is about number systems, error detection and error correcting codes, and gates, digital gates, and combinational circuits. Okay, small combinational circuits. That is about unit 1. And unit 2, in the unit 2 we are interested in learning minimization and design of combinational circuits. Okay, minimization and design of combination circuits. Combination circuits, just now we have said what is combination circuit, right? What is this minimization? Minimization is very much needed. If you design any digital circuit, let's say there is some task and you need 100 different varieties of gates to accomplish the task. How many gates we need to accomplish the task? 100 different gates. Let's say AND gate, 5 AND gates, 7 NOR gates, like that. Okay, totally we need 100 different varieties of gates to accomplish that task. That means gates are to be connected to get the result, whatever we are looking for. But the same functionality can be accomplished. The same functionality can be accomplished with just 70 gates. With just 70 gates. Okay, means although it is possible to build the same functionality with just 70 gates, in that place we are using 100 gates. Now, which circuit is more beautiful? Okay, I say the second circuit, which is containing only 70 circuits, still it is behaving exactly in the same way as the first circuit is behaving, where the first circuit is using 100 gates. So minimization is having that much importance in the digital circuits. Otherwise, the digital systems would be much more complicated than what they are today, what they are now. Okay, there are many other things. If gate count increases, the delay increases, and also the power consumption, that also increases. So minimization is the very needed goal. Okay, so we talk about minimization. That minimization can be done conventionally or by using graphical techniques, that is this Karnaugh maps that we talk about in the minimization concepts. And we have other things like arithmetic circuits. Now, what are these arithmetic circuits? Arithmetic circuits, arithmetic circuits means the circuits that carry out calculations like addition, subtraction, counting, multiplication, and so on. These arithmetic circuits are found in processors. Okay, in our 10th standard we have seen some diagrams like ALU, right? In the central processing unit, main important block is ALU. That ALU is built of arithmetic circuits. Otherwise, ALU is nothing but arithmetic circuits. Okay, ALU stands for arithmetic and logic circuits, but arithmetic circuits is purely focused on addition, subtractions, multiplications, and so on. Okay, we have other circuits like comparators, magnitude comparators, and so on, multiplexers, demultiplexers, decoders, encoders, and many other things. So in the second unit, our main concern is about minimization of digital circuits. and circuits like arithmetic circuits, multiplexers, demultiplexers, tri-state gates, encoders, decoders. So means minimization and combination circuits. Arithmetic circuits, multiplexers, all these are combination circuits only. They are not different from combination circuits. They are essentially combination circuits only. Next, moving to the third unit. Third unit title is sequential circuits. Sequential circuits. So unit 2 is about combination circuits, whereas unit 3 is about sequential circuits. Sequential circuits means there is main difference between combination circuits and sequential circuits. Combination circuit, it means it takes the input and it produces the output based on the input alone. Based on the input alone, it produces output based on the input alone. That's what a combination circuit does. Whereas sequential circuit, it is also combination circuit plus, it is not just combination circuit, it is combination circuit plus it has some memory elements like flip-flops. Okay, flip-flops, and it is a combination of flip-flops and combination circuits. And flip-flop is a memory device. Flip-flop is a memory device, and it behaves like this. It behaves in little strange way. It behaves different from combination circuit. This is how it behaves. It takes the input and it produces the output not only based on the current state of the input, but also on previous states of the output, That's what a sequential circuit is about, right? And we have examples of sequential circuits are memories like latches, flip-flops, and there are varieties of flip-flops like SR flip-flop, JK, D, T, and other flip-flops. Flip-flops here is a unit. It is a digital circuit which can store which can store one unit of memory, either 1 or 0. That's what a flip-flop does. Okay. If you combine flip-flops, then it becomes a memory, 8-bit memory unit or something like that, right? And that's what we do it in the sequence circuits. And also we have counters. Counters are digital circuits which can count like 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, either 2-bit counter or 4-bit counter or 5-bit counter or 8-bit counter, like that. We also study and also see how to design these counters. These are all sequential circuits. These are all sequential circuits, and also registers, shift registers. See, these are all building blocks of any digital system. These are all building blocks of any digital system. Building blocks means what? If you want to build a building, we need bricks. Everything is made out of bricks. Okay. In the same way, bricks and some other things like concrete, sand, and so on, so on. In the same way, if you want to build any digital system, these are the building blocks. What are the building blocks? Gates, AND gate, OR gate, NAND gate, NOR gate, and that is one level of abstraction. Okay. By using these gates, we construct other circuits like multiplexers, demultiplexers, decoders, encoders, arithmetic circuits, logical circuits. That is another level of abstraction. And by using these circuits, by adding memory elements like flip-flops, we can construct shift registers like these shift registers and counters. Okay, counters. This is another level of abstraction. These are all building blocks of digital circuits. If you try to design them, then you can design any complicated digital circuit. including the processor. Okay, if you dissect the processor and see what is inside the processor, what you will see is just all these gates that we have discussed just now. You don't find anything new, but you should know how to connect all these things together to make any useful system. Okay, that's what we will learn in this course, and that's what is for third unit. In the third unit, we will learn sequential circuits. Sequential circuits means the circuits which incorporate memory, where those circuits whose output not only depends on the present state of the input and also present state of the input, but also previous states of the output. Okay, that is unit 3. Next, unit 4. Unit 4 talks about memories. Memories means it is a digital circuit which stores data, digital data. Digital data means 0, 1. Okay, it may be 8-bit memory or 4-bit memory, and so on, so on. These are the varieties of memories we have. RAM means ROM. RAM means read-only memory. Read-only means it is a permanent memory. Means if you store some data into the RAM, the data will remain even after the power is taken away from the digital circuit. You don't need to continuously supply the power. Even power is removed, still that nothing will happen to the data stored in the RAM. Data present in the RAM remains intact even after the power is removed. That's what RAM is. RAM is a permanent storage unit. Whereas we have RAM, random access memory. Random access memory, on the contrary, the data stored in the RAM will remain in the RAM until power is there. Once power is disconnected to the device, then the data stored in the RAM will die. Okay, that's what happens to the data in the RAM. So these are the RAM and this is RAM, and we have varieties of RAMs like PROM, programmable read-only memory, EEPROM, electrically programmable read-only memory, electrical erasable programmable read-only memory, and so on, so on. Now we have other types of memories called RAM cells. Now it is basically how to construct RAM by using MOSFETs. Okay, we have studied MOSFETs. MOSFETs are used to amplify the signal. That's how we have studied. That's how we know MOSFETs. MOSFETs are used to amplify the signal, or they can be used as switches. Either you can turn on or turn off some action. Yes or no? They can be used as memory elements also. Okay, we can make use of MOSFETs to construct memory elements. And we have other type of devices like programmable logic arrays. Programmable logic arrays means it is a group of AND gates and OR gates. By using that combination of gates, we can construct any useful logic functionality. That we will see later. Maybe at this point you might not understand. You may not understand. And other important things are field programmable gate arrays. Field programmable gate arrays. These are much like programmable logic arrays, PLAs, but they are much sophisticated. Okay. These are the different things that we will study in the unit 4 called memory devices. Memory devices in the unit 4 will see different types of memories like RAM memories, RAM memories, and also advanced concepts like programmable logic arrays and field programmable gate arrays. Okay, we also have field programmable gate arrays in our college. We can make use of those things, and we can construct any digital circuit out of this FPGAs. Now, can you see this diagram? Can you see this PC? Can you see this PCB? Some circuit, At the center, somewhere here, we have FPGA. This whole board is not FPGA. There is one IC here. Okay, that IC is FPGA, and we will program it. We need some programming languages to program this FPGA to convert that into a useful digital circuit. That we will see later. So that is about Unit 4. In the Unit 5, synchronous and asynchronous sequential circuits. Synchronous and asynchronous sequential circuits. Synchronous means the circuits which make use of clock. Okay, clock means the circuit responds only at the transitions of the clock, either low to high transition or high to low transition. The circuit responds only to the clock, either at low to high transition or high to low transition. Okay, that is what is synchronous circuit. Asynchronous means the circuit doesn't, it responds anytime. It doesn't follow the clock. It doesn't follow the clock. Okay, that is asynchronous sequential circuits. That we will see in the Unit 5, and also we will learn Verilog programming. Okay, Verilog programming means the language that is used to program the FPGAs. It is not only used for FPGAs, but we use Verilog to program FPGAs to realize combination circuits or any type of circuits in the FPGA. We can make any